Good morning, it's 9:32 a.m. I would like to call today's hearings to order. There are multiple hearings on the docket that we will take. Case number 6267-1 first. There are two members of the hearing board who participated remotely. Ms. Hugo Peralta, your agenda was posted according to the Brown Act. Shall I make that assumption?
Yes.
Yes.
No one is in the room with you at this time, correct?
Just my husband.
Okay. And so there are no speakers from the general public who does provide monitoring testimony and or.
It's posted outside and I have a nice big conference room that's all glass, so I can see the airport.
All right, and my agenda, which remotely is also published pursuant to the provisions of the Brown Act. There's no one present with the in the room here today. All right, so do we have any, just want to take public comment or evidentiary testimony? Are there any individuals online, Mr. Clerk?
None.
Are there any individuals before the body?
No.
Okay, very well. So now that we've gotten that bit of business handled, let us drop down to the exhibits, and there are a host of exhibits. There are a host of exhibits today, so in the matter of, we just take Amazon first. So there's exhibit number 7.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, which case are you taking first? Amazon?
We're going to take 6267-1 first.
Okay, thank you.
6267-1, petitioner. Exhibit, there's one exhibit, which is titled number 7. Respondent proposed regular variance conditions D.
It's not the one on your guys. I marked it today, but I think it for something that is the last.
Okay, are we good with that?
So 7, and this is the,
Can you turn your microphone on? Okay, are we okay with the exhibits?
Mr. Chair, there should be an exhibit from the respondent as well that we would request to be marked at this time that are the proposed regular variance conditions.
Right, I said that, D.
Sorry, my mistake.
Yeah, I said it 3 times. So there's a respondent, D. Proposed regular variance conditions. Is that accurate?
is it D, P, or B? I couldn't,
D.
D as in dog.
D as in dog.
Okay. Thanks.
The petitioner's exhibit is 7. The proposed regular variance conditions would be D.
Oh,
Okay, so who do we have representing Amazon? Representing the petitioner?
Good morning. My name is Ryan Schaefer. I am representing Amazon today.
Are you the attorney?
I am not. I am an environmental manager for the company.
And who do we have representing the respondent?
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Catherine Roberts on behalf of the executive officer.
Right.
Mr. Chair, this is Mr. Pearman. Can I make a comment before we start?
Right ahead, sir.
Just that I did review the document. There was an interim hearing on this interim variance on, I think, the 20th of February, which I did not appear at, but I'm up to speed now for this regular variance today.
Okay. Mr. Schaefer and Ms. Roberts, are either of you objecting to Mr. Pearman's participation?
No objections from the district.
Mr. Schaefer?
No objections.
No problem. All right. So we sought public participation by way of general public comment as well as evidentiary testimony. The record is clear to no one has sought recognition. We're going to turn the floor over to you, Mr. Schaefer, for your opening. But actually, do we have any witnesses? Witnesses on either side? Mr. Schaefer, witnesses?
Just myself.
Okay. Ms. Roberts, witnesses?
No affirmative witnesses.
Okay, perfect. Mr. Schaefer, the floor is yours, sir. Opening statements.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the hearing board. We, Amazon, myself, appreciate the opportunity to present requests for a regular variance. Like I mentioned, my name is Ryan Schaefer. I am a regional environmental manager with Amazon for the state of California. Amazon's requesting a regular variance from the permit limitation of 200-hour operating limits for 5 emergency generators located at 1494 South Waterman Avenue in San Bernardino, California. We refer to this location internally as SBD1, so I may be using that term going forward during this hearing. These generators operate under permits G73660, G73658, G79471, G79472, and G79473. The variance addresses South Coast AQMD Rule 203B, which we know states the equipment or agricultural permit unit shall not be operated contrary to the conditions specified in the permit to operate. The permit condition we are at risk of violating is condition 4, which is the engine shall not be operated more than 200 hours in any 1 year. In January of 2025, we all know Southern California Edison implemented public safety power shutoffs, PSPSs, across the grid in response to the extreme winds and wildfires. These emergency generators provided essential power to our facility during these shutoffs, which began on January 7th and continued throughout the month. While SCE did send notification emails warning of likely shutoffs, they really did not provide specific timelines for these unplanned events. The power interruptions were outside of Amazon's control, as SCE executed these shutoffs at their own discretion without customer consultation. A little description of the facility. SBD1 operates as what we call as an inbound cross-dock facility, which we refer to as IXDs. It is one of 26 core sites in North America's two-touch network. The facility processes inventory from fulfilled by Amazon sellers and distributes it across 150 downstream fulfillment centers. During standard operations, this building processes roughly 1.5 to 2 million units per day, with higher volumes during peak holiday seasons. Without a variance for these generators, any utility shutoff in the future could potentially force the facility's closure, creating significant operational and human impacts. The first of which being the employment impact. We employ roughly 2,251 Amazon associates at the building. If the building was not in operation, they would face an immediate income loss. We would also have a network disruption, whereas downstream fulfillment centers would lack inventory, which would affect customer deliveries nationwide. In addition to a financial impact, which is loss of revenue from Amazon.com due to extended delivery times, reduced FBA seller fees, increased transportation costs from emergency rerouting, and disrupted inventory flow to downstream facilities. These emergency generators operate exclusively during power outages and routine maintenance. Our only previous exception was an interim variance granted on February 20th, 2025, with which we have fully complied with. As shown in Exhibit 1, the 5 generators have accumulated between 178 and 192 operating hours in 2025. The vast majority, like greater than 95% of that happening in January due to the PSPSs. So we are approaching, but not yet exceeding the 200-hour limit. Back in January, we initiated contact with the AQMD anticipating possible hour exceedances due to the SCE's frequent PSPSs. In addition to that, SCE has also scheduled a 12-hour maintenance outage 5 days from now on April 28th, which will push at least one of our generators beyond the 200-hour limit. So we are requesting a regular variance through December 2025 for 2 reasons. The confirmed April 28th maintenance outage, which will have exceedances in our permitted hours. In addition, the approaching warm season, which typically brings a risk of weather-related power shutoffs. While we cannot predict extreme weather events like those in January, we must maintain operational readiness to protect our facilities' critical functions. So I am respectfully requesting your approval of this variance to ensure continued operations during power interruptions. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Roberts.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good morning, members of the hearing board. Subject to the inclusion of the conditions in now marked as Exhibit D, the district is unopposed to the granting of the variance. The district would want to highlight a couple of points that have changed since the interim variance. As board members recall, at the interim variance, there were several engines that were unpermitted and that were excluded from the interim variance. In the intervening time, those engines have become permitted, and given the number of hours that they're pretty close to the 200 hours, more than 80% of their 200 hours have already been allotted. They are being requested to be incorporated into the regular variance. The district does not oppose that, given that they are now fully permitted. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there no witnesses to be questioned?
I think Mr. Schaefer is a witness, so if we can swear him in so I can ask him a couple of questions.
Oh, hold on one second. Mr. Schaefer, are you a witness?
Yes,
Okay, all right, good deal. Okay. Then we'll go ahead and we'll administer the oath. Please stand. All right, do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
yes.
Thank you, sir. All right. Well, I mean, to be fair, I'll see if there's any questions from Ms. Roberts first.
Yes, just a couple. Mr. Schaefer, can I have you turn to what has been marked as exhibit number 7, which is that updated table? Do you have a copy of that?
I do.
So I just want to walk through a couple of points with you. So unit numbers 1B, 2B, and 3A, those were the engines that were previously unpermitted. Is that right?
That is correct.
And they have since obtained final permits to operate?
That is correct.
Okay. And so their hour usage is in that final column over on the right-hand side of that table. Is that correct?
That is correct for 2025.
Okay. And then the last 2 engines that are listed in this table, units 3B and 4A, you are not requesting to seek variance relief for those 2 engines. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. And is that because at this point, there's not reason to believe they would exceed the 200 hours given where they are at in 2025?
At this point, yes, I don't believe they are at risk of exceeding that at this time. Should that happen, we would approach it at a different date, but I don't anticipate those exceeding 200 hours this year.
And did you have a chance to review the conditions that are proposed as Exhibit D?
I have, yes,
And do you believe the facility would comply with all of those?
100%.
Thank you. Those are all of my questions.
All right. Mr. Balakapalan.
Yes, morning, Mr. Schaefer. Mr. Schaefer, just to, in the interim variance, there was a engine G 73659 was included in the interim variance, and it's no longer, based on the updated table, you're taking that off for the regular variance, correct?
If I believe I remember this correctly, I think the interim variance only was associated with 2 engines, 73658 and 73660.
If I can interject, the district opposed variance on interim relief for that particular engine, given that it did not have enough hours.
Okay.
And I believe the party stipulated to withdraw it as to that engine.
Okay, okay. I didn't get a copy of the minutes of that. Okay, that, the other question, and what about at the last hearing, I know the excess emissions, have you calculated excess emissions?
Yeah, since the last hearing, we did retain, because admittedly, I'm not an expert with calculating emissions, but we have retained a third-party consultant, ERM, to actually provide calculation data for these engines going forward. And we are prepared to comply with condition number 3 on Exhibit D, which we will calculate and pay excess emission fees by January 31st, 2026.
Okay. I realize at this point you don't have excess emission because you're less than 200, but do you have any, do you have the estimate that they've made, ERM or with you?
Not currently, no. We don't anticipate, I mean, currently we are below the 200 hours. So we personally, I can't speculate on future PSPSs or know exactly when the utility company is going to shut us off. I do know we have a 12-hour maintenance outage scheduled for the 28th of April, which will cause engine 79472 to exceed the 200-hour limitation by roughly 4 hours. The other engines will remain under the 200-hour limitation at that point.
Because you're asking also 4 hours for each for semi-annual and annual load testing, right?
Correct, yes.
So that's 8 hours total, or?
That's a maximum of 8 hours. I do push them to keep it well below 4 hours each time. I do believe the next scheduled load bank testing is in June 2025. And I think they might try to keep that closer to the 2 hour limitation. And then every month where they're not performing load bank testing, we will limit those engines runtimes to less than 1 hour. And even if that,
When they do load bank testing, do they do only one engine at a time, or is there a couple of them depending on the need of, what it is servicing?
yeah, to be honest, I don't know the specifics on what they do during load bank testing. I just know it can take up to 4 hours per test, and it's typically done twice a year. But I do not believe all 4 hours are going to be needed, and I will encourage them to minimize usage.
Now, you're subject to another rule, 1478, not 1472, and not seeking relief from that?
We do not, I don't believe we qualify for that exemption, as this is simply a customer fulfillment warehouse.
No, I think if you have more than 3 engines, you're subject to another rule.
Sorry, I was thinking of a different rule.
Oh, different, yeah.
Correct. And we did submit, oh goodness, I forget the name of the form, but we did receive that form from the engineer who wrote our permits. And we will comply with that rule as well, because we now have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 engines on site.
And
So-
you applied for more
More engines?
engines?
No more engines are coming on this property.
This is it?
I hope this is it. Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very kind. Any additional questions of the gentleman?
And so just for the record, Amazon.
Turn your microphone on, sir. Microphone on. Mr. Premier, your microphone, we can't hear you.
Just for the record, so Amazon stipulates to the proposed regular variance conditions at Exhibit D?
Correct.
Thank you.
Any further questions from members of the hearing board? All right, closing comments. Mr. Schaefer, closing.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and everyone here today. Our immediate action to contact the district when approaching these hour limitations really demonstrates, our commitment to regulatory compliance. We followed all district guidance, including filing appropriate variance petitions and attending required hearings on February 20th and today, April 23rd. The necessity for this variance stems from 3 key factors, as we discussed. The unplanned PSPSs by Southern California Edison, the essential facility operations affecting statewide commerce, and the employment stability of over 2,251 Amazon associates. If granted this variance, Amazon does commit to operating the engines only when absolutely necessary, minimizing operations and maintenance activities to reduce emissions, and maintaining strict compliance with all variance conditions. Exceeding the 200-hour limit without a variance would force facility closure during power interruptions, causing significant economic impact across the state and threatening thousands of jobs. We respectfully request you all find good cause to grant this regular variance. Thank you.
Roberts.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Subject to the inclusion of the conditions in Exhibit D, the district is unopposed to a granting of a regular variance.
Thank you very kindly, members of the board of deliberation.
I do believe I can make the necessary 6 findings to grant the regular variance. Petitioner is not in violation, but will potentially be in violation if there's another PSPS hours or something. If there's curtailment of power, then they'll exceed the 200 hours, or at least 5 of the engines that they're requesting variance for, which is currently 5 engines. The other 2 are way well below, that the non-compliance is beyond the control because of the PSPS hours, the hours of accumulated on the engines. The harm to the petitioner will outweigh the emission associated, and though we haven't really got the emission data, but looks like they've contacted the consultant to calculate it for them, and when they do exceed the 200 hours, they'll calculate it and provide those emission to the district. And so they've given consideration curtailing operations, so they're going to limit it to 1 hour testing a month. And they're also, as Mr. Schiff indicated, they probably limit the load bank testing also to the minimum needed. So they're not running through. And so they will calculate the emissions, excess emissions, once they exceed the 200 hours, and they'll provide that, and they also will pay the fee. So for all those reasons, and I also want to correct, I think I mentioned, I might have said 1470, it's really 1472 as a requirement for facilities with multiple stage resource engines on site. So they have definitely more than three. So, but I think Mr. Schaefer said they already submitted a compliance plan to address that. So anyway, they're not seeking relief from that rule. Only you're seeking for 203B for those 5 engines. So for all those reasons, I do believe I can make the motion necessary to grant the regular variance for this facility.
All right, any further comments? Members of the board, Mr. Dugal-Peralta.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would concur with Mr. Balagopalan's comments. I'm surprised, honestly, that we haven't seen more companies come before us requesting the same type of relief based on the fact that the PSPS was throughout the Southern California area, not only due to the fires, but in trying to prevent fires where Edison equipment was located. So for all of those reasons and the ones that Mr. Balagopalan mentioned, I also concur that we should grant this variance.
Further deliberation? All right, Mr. Balagopalan, would you like to make the motion, or what shall we do?
No, I can go ahead. So in the matter of Amazon.com Services LLC, case number 6267-1, I move that we grant regular variance commencing today and continuing through the end of the year 12/31/2025 from Rule 203B, specifically condition number 9 of those 5 stated permits, G73660, G79471, G73658, and G79472 and G79473 for the equipment that is located in, I'll get that in a second. I had it here. At 3388 South Cactus Avenue in Bloomington, California 92316, facility ID 192999. So the petition, the excess emissions are to be quantified and reported when they exceed the 200 hours. And they will pay all the any fees due by I think it's stated January 31st, 2026. With that, I conclude my motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved by Mr. Balagopalan, seconded by Dr. Abraham. Any further question or discussion on the motion as proper? Hearing none. Dr. Abraham, your vote.
Aye.
Mr. Dugal-Peralta.
Aye.
Mr. Balagopalan.
Aye.
Chairman.
Aye.
Ali votes in the affirmative. The matter is hereby approved unanimously. Have a phenomenal morning, Mr. Schaefer. You too, Ms. Roberts.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank
All
you.
right, dropping down to case number 6234-5, facility item number 193436, which is for Los Angeles Regional Interoperable Communication System Authority, V South Coast AQMD on consent calendar. The items that are before the body, there's several items that we're going to call out the exhibits. Exhibit number 2 was by the petitioner, a stipulation to place the matter on consent calendar. Exhibit number 3, declaration of Ted Pay or Poe, P-A-O, Ted P-A-O. Exhibit number 4, proposed findings and decisions. Exhibit number 5, generator runtime report, April 17, 2025. No exhibits from the respondent. Hearing board, exhibit HB1, email thread between Board Member Balagopalan and First Office dated April 17, 2025. The director reflecting no one sought recognition to provide general public comment or evidentiary testimony. We're now down to discussion/deliberation.
Yeah, I think the papers speak for themselves. It presents a good cause that we can, based on the stipulation, et cetera, that we can find the 6 findings for this item. And I do note they've included reference to the state of emergency, so either in a motion or separately, we can act on a request for a fee waiver.
All right. Okay, relative to this matter, in the matter of facility, in the matter of, hold on one second. In the matter of case number 6234-1, facility item number 19346, I move that we grant a regular variance. The regular variance commences April 23rd, 2025. And will go out to January 1st, 2026. Is that what we have?
December 3rd.
They say December 31, 2025 in their proposal. At
All right, so
paragraph
that,
one of the order.
okay. My only concern with respect to December, is if there's any issues, I guess we can leave it December 31st, right?
It resets at the end of the year, so
Okay, all right, fair enough, fair enough. All right, December 31st, 2025. From the following rules and subsections for which are encased in exhibit number 4. The equipment, as well as other applicable operating permits, et cetera, are also included in exhibit number 4. The address is located at the Angeles National Forest at APN 8675-016-307, Fairmont, California 91711 in the county of Los Angeles. We will indeed waive as a part of this motion the statutory fees, which are generally paid to the clerk within 15 days of today. The petitioner should notify the clerk in writing when final compliance with the chief. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
just a friendly amendment. Not sure, I might have heard you wrong. I thought you said 6234 dash
One, but he meant
one,
five.
it's dash 5.
He meant 5, yeah.
He meant 5,
6, 2, 3,
I
4.
think you said 1, so, and then, just wanted to add, they did indicate the excess emission during the various period, so when they run over the 3.19 pounds per day for, carbon monoxide, 18.6 pounds of nitrogen dioxide, oxide nitrogen, and, 11.34 pounds of reactive hydrocarbon.
They're all accepted, but just for the record, I did say 6234-1, and I gave the facility ID number, which is 193-436. So we're accepting the amendments with respect to the excess emissions. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Second by Dr. Abraham. Any further question or discussion? Abraham, your vote.
Aye.
Ms. Verdugo-Peralta.
Aye.
Mr. Balaka-Palan.
Aye.
Mr. Fairman.
Aye.
I'll leave those in the affirmative. This matter is hereby approved unanimously. Drop down to Al Fortman 3221-230 consent. Exhibit number 5 from the petitioner, stipulation of place the matter on consent calendar. Exhibit number 6 is the declaration of Leanna East, Leanna, last name East, EAST. Number 7, proposed finding and decision. Exhibit number 7, all from the petitioner, nothing from the respondent, nothing from members of the hearing board. Discussion deliberation.
This is a similar type of situation we've seen before. And again, here they not exceeded the 200, but it is imminent, given how close they are and given our experience with SE, et cetera. So we think we'll be able to find to support the regular variance request and the stipulated conditions in the proposed order.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, I move in the matter of facility IT number 195306, case number 3221-23, that we grant a regular variance. The variance would commence on April 23rd, 2025 through December 31st, 2025. Relative to the rules and subsections and the address of the location and permits, operating numbers, etc. The conditions are all set forth in exhibit number 7. The petitioner shall pay the applicable fees to the clerk by 15 days from today's date, or the variance shall be invalidated. Petitioner shall also notify the clerks of the board in writing when compliance is achieved. Any additional amendments to this motion? Hearing none, is there a second?
Second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Duco-Crofton. Any further questions or discussion on the motion as proffered? Dr. Abraham,
Aye.
Mr. Duco-Crofton,
Aye.
Mr. Balakapalan,
Aye.
Mr. Pearman.
Yes.
All they vote in the affirmative, the matter is hereby unanimously. Dropping down to another matter of consent. Termo, TERMO, case number 3014-23. The petitioner tendered several exhibits for which I'll call off the stipulation. To place the matter on consent of exhibit number 1, declaration of Ralph Combs, COMBS, is exhibit 2. The proposed findings and decisions will be exhibit number 3. Number 4 will be the access emissions calculation. Mr. Balakapalan loves that because they all laid it out. Okay, responded, no exhibits, as well as hearing board exhibit. There's email thread between Balakapalan and the clerk's office on April 17, 2025. Discussion deliberations.
I can go. This happens to be a Title V facility, so they're asking relief from the Title V rule in addition to a number of other applicable rules. But the facility operates at the Aliso Canyon facility, and so their production of gas is sent to the gas company. Unfortunately, the gas company has to do some maintenance work on the dehydration station, which that means they cannot supply the gas to the gas company for treatment. So during this time, they're requesting variance so that they will not operate, but however, they may release emission due to pressure relief from the storage tanks and also from filling trucks during this period. But they say they will not operate the equipment except for the fueling the trucks. And so they shouldn't be, there will be minimal excess emission. I think the petitioner calculated about 6 pounds of VOCs per day if on the days they exceed the pressure on the pressure relief valve, they had to vent it. I'm sorry, on this one, it's about 1.6772 pounds per day for this site. So the conditions are as laid out already in the proposed finding and decision document, no changes, and they have, as you indicated, they did submit how they're going to calculate, and they will provide those excess emission calculation and fees to the district.
Okay.
And so, I'm sorry, they're also requesting only for from April 28th to May 15th. So it's a short duration, about 15 days. And during that time, they will be conducting monitoring for leaks and doing surveillance, weekly leak detection and so forth, as outlined in the proposed conditions.
Okay, any additional comments? All right. In the matter of facility ID number 083508, case number 301423. I move that good cause indeed appears and we grant the short variance commencing April 23rd, 2025 and continuing to May 15th, 2025. For the record and for the motion, the rules, subsections, other applicable government codes, permits, and other operational oriented numbers, location of the facility, and conditions of said variance are set forth in exhibit number 3. The petitioner shall pay all applicable fees to the court of the board by 15 days from today's date of the variance shall be invalidated. Petitioner should notify the clerk of the board in writing with final compliance with the chief. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Dr. Abraham. Any further question or discussion on the motion?
Just a minor amendment. Oh,
Go right ahead. The floor is yours.
no, I think they'll pay the fee by May 31st, not 15 days from today. So it'll be, the order will end on April 28th, but they given more time to pay the fees.
Okay, so then we'll say that Mr. Clerk will amend that element within the motion, say they'll pay the applicable fees by May 15th, 2025.
May 31st, 2025.
Okay, May 31st, 2025. You have that, sir?
I have it.
Thank you, sir. All right, Abraham.
And one other comment, I think you said beginning April 23rd, they did only request from April 28th, which is the date SoCal told them they would stop sending the gas. So it's a small difference. Since they only asked for April 28th, I suggest we just give them what they want and no more.
Okay. No problem. April 28th, it is.
Thank you.
We're feeling a little Christmassy, thought we might bring good cheer. All right, Dr. Abraham, you second the motion?
Second.
Okay, all right, your vote, Dr. Abraham.
Aye.
Verdugo Prout,
Aye.
Malika Palan,
Aye.
Mr. Perry.
Aye.
All right. Approved unanimously, all the votes in the affirmative. Now we drop down to their other petition, Termo 301424. The petitioner proffered several exhibits, the stipulation of place, the matter on consent calendars 1, declaration of Ralph Combs in exhibit number 2, proposed finding and decision to exhibit number 3, and the excess emissions calculation, exhibit number 4. There's also email thread, which is HB1, between Malika Falan and the clerk's office dated April 17, 2025. Discussion deliberation.
Yeah, again, it's the same facility, but it's a different location. Hence, that's why they had to submit a separate petition. And what's different also is the previous facility was a Title V facility, not reclaimed. This is a reclaimed facility, not Title V. So I think the public notice, there may have been a typo in the public notice and also in the proposed finding, they put 204 instead of 2004, which they need relief from the rule because it's a reclaimed facility. So it's 2004 F1. So, so very similar reasons why they won't be operating because the gas company will be doing maintenance and their dehydrator will be shut down. They do expect excess emission daily emissions about 0.06 pounds per day from the standing losses from the venting from the tanks if they exceed the pressure settings. But otherwise, it's very similar to the previous case we just heard.
All right, any further questions, discussions? Mr. Chairman?
Just 2 points. Again, I echo that in the order we issue, we should refer to 2004, not 204. And secondly, the proposed findings have the date of April 22nd. And we will just note for the record, the clerk will note that actually the hearing took place on April 23rd.
All right. The motion in the matter of facility ID number 097081, case number 301424. I move that we grant a short variance commencing April 28th, 2025, continuing through May 15th, 2025. The various rules, petitioner equipment, operational numbers, location/address, and all conditions of the variance shall be set forth in exhibit number 3. The petitioner shall pay the applicable fees to the clerk no later than May 30th, 2025. The petitioner shall notify the clerk of the board in writing or filing the plan for the chief. So second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Dugal-Frost. Any further question or discussion on that motion? Hearing none. Dr. Abraham.
Aye.
Mr. Dugal-Frost.
Aye.
Mr. Balak.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Aye.
Ali votes in the affirmative. The matter is hereby approved unanimously. The docket is clear and we are off the record at 10:14 a.m. And adjourned.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
Have a phenomenal weekend, folks.